Welcome to episode 143 of Freshly Grounded. This episode is with Sunnah Remedies, aka Abdul Hakim. We had a lovely discussion. Abdul Hakim's probably, 15th time on a podcast or something. He's a regular. We always mention that he's a part of the furniture, but we mean that nicely and as a sign of love more than calling him furniture. We had a lovely discussion about many things, including ego. We spent a lot of time talking about spending money, marriage, and a bunch of other things. It's always a pleasure having Abdul Hakim on the podcast. I know I don't have to go on about it because everybody always enjoys them episodes. We actually just put out a post like 2 days ago saying it's been a while since Abdul Hakim has been on Freshly Grounded, and then that evening we had arranged an episode, alhamdulillah, that we just shot. So guys, enjoy this episode. And also just to say that if you're a fan of this kind of thing, please do support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/freshly grounded. That's patreon.com/freshly grounded. You can sign up for as little as around £5 a month, and what that does is it allows you to get every episode early. It allows you to get a bunch of other perks with Freshly Grounded, such as discounts on live events and that kind of stuff, but more than anything, it supports the podcast and allows us to carry on doing what we love, which is to be able to provide content and do Freshly Grounded and be able to help with the cost of the equipment and events and our guest expenses, etc. So do not belittle how much of a difference you can make by becoming a patron by heading to patreon.com/freshly grounded. With that being said, this is episode 143 with Abdul Hakim, aka Sunnah Remedies. Let's get into it.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
After that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
But why is there a sock here? That's a sock, innit?
Yeah.
It's a dirty sock as well.
I don't know, boy.
It's not even a sock that I recognise. That's what's weird. There's a random sock here, bro. Anyway, how you doing, bro?
Alhamdulillah, how are you, bro?
Alhamdulillah, I'm alright, bro. I'm just a bit... I've got... I'm in this thing where I have so many things to do, and it's a very busy period for me in that because what happened is we did that big event.
Which one?
The Freshly Grounded one.
No.
And then after that, bro, like pretty much straight after that, then I was locked off because of the baby, and I took time off. And then as soon as I came back, I was back for like 5 days, and then or something like maybe like a week or two, and then there was that fat holiday break, and then in that break we went on the tour for Iman channel.
No.
And so I'm back now officially at work, but really I'm like backlogged from end of September. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really.
Yeah.
So I'm like in this phase where I've got so much on, and I'm just like, I'm not managing my time. It's not that I'm not managing my time well, but you feel like, I need more time.
Exhausted.
Nah, I'm not even exhausted, but I'm ready to go. But
Yeah.
I just feel like I need more time in my day. But alhamdulillah.
Have you written down everything that you need to do?
Yeah.
Everything is written down?
Yeah, but
Khalas.
I always write down the
important.
tasks and stuff like
Khalas,
that.
It's good. That means you're on a good path then, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, it's because I'm not going to be here next 2 days in the office, so that's time that I would rather be at my desk and stuff. But alhamdulillah, man, there's no point in me using you as my personal agony.
No. This is why I'm here.
That's normally what I do off the podcast.
No,
We save
alhamdulillah.
it.
On podcast, off podcast, alhamdulillah. That's what we do, bro.
Alhamdulillah.
That's what we do, alhamdulillah.
It's funny because I saw your episode on the Blood Brothers podcast.
Yes.
And they were saying that do you do like additional services like consultation and therapy and stuff? And you were saying that hijama is like first and sports therapy is first and foremost what you do, but these other services that people often come to you for is more like a
social thing
and like a duty that you give.
Yeah. That obviously, like, people want somebody that they can talk to, and sometimes it helps if the person is a stranger, because sometimes you might need someone to talk to that you don't know, so you can open up. And it's good for your mental clarity, for your mental health, to share and unload these things.
Or offload them.
Or offload them as well.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So,
Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man.
I think maybe it's like the 5th podcast.
No. You've been on here loads of times,
I
bro.
think more like
Yeah.
6.
You're
7th,
you're almost like the 3rd host.
Yeah.
I never feel I feel when you come on the podcast, I always feel zero pressure.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, because it's like this is your spot, bruv. You know what I mean? Like
Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah,
No,
you've
I
been
enjoy
in
it,
you've been here in every studio that we've had.
Yeah.
You've been a staple of Freshly Grounded since the early days. We've seen you in various haircuts. So it's just like the episodes that I do with Sam. They're very chilled. Alhamdulillah.
That's what it's about, man.
It's funny because I put out a post like yesterday because we kind of ran out of content, and so I put out a post myself saying or like an old clip that we did with you, and I just wrote on it like who thinks that we need to have Sunnah Remedies back soon. And then literally within 10 minutes we had arranged the episode.
Alhamdulillah. No, you know what? Because you know what? To be honest, I did want to come back, and I didn't want to obviously meet yourself. As you know, we do get busy. We have our families. We have our responsibilities. But it's good to kind of keep this. Be even part. For me, it's an honor to be part of this podcast.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you on.
And to be part of benefit. Many things. My kind of vision or my kind of you could say goals is to leave behind something that people can benefit. And subhanAllah, I had an old uncle come in today for a session, 70 years of age, mashallah. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, he was in tears. Like,
Really?
yeah, he was like, I really appreciate that I could come to somebody that, hopefully, inshallah, where, we can fall in line with the best assumptions of people. But he was like, may Allah reward you, this is what we kind of need. We need more people to benefit mankind. And for me, I want people to come on my page, my Instagram page, my Facebook, my Twitter page, and enrich themselves, empower themselves, enlighten themselves, rather than go to an Instagram page and start comparing their lives to Insta models or to people that they think have the picture perfect life, when in reality it's far from that. And subhanAllah, to increase themselves in depression, because we know that comparison is the thief of joy. So when you start comparing your lives to other people, you're going to start feeling empty. You're going to start feeling, why don't I have that in life? And bro, we know that can lead to depression, and in some cases suicidal thoughts. And also it can lead to somebody being not content with the provision that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for them. And this is where you see people being ungrateful. And there's nothing wrong with wanting good, more in life, more success, but there is a problem with being not content and not happy with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you, your rizq. Because a lot of people, like, you have to understand, a lot of people that, and you will find people that are envious. A lot of people will envy people because of their success, because of what they have been given. Because in reality, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gives. And a lot of people have hasad. And sometimes I say to myself, like, why are you envious? Because when I'm envious of a person, what does that mean? That means I'm not happy with Allah's decision. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran, أَمْ يَحْسُدُونَ النَّاسَ عَلَى مَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِ. That are they envious? Do they have envy towards those people that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given? So when you're envious, in reality, you're not happy with the decision of Allah. Because who gives? Who gives, akhi? It's Allah. Who takes? It's Allah. So Allah is Razzaq, akhi. So don't compare your lives to other people, because we already live in a world where there's so much depression and so much sadness and so much struggles. Akhi, why are you going to give yourself more hem? Why are you going to give yourself more more things to worry about and to preoccupy your mind?
Yeah, you know what? I think that one of the solutions to life, bro, is just to be simple.
Yeah.
And to because then when you become simple and you fall out of love with the extravagant things, all of a sudden your life becomes happier. Even though your nafs requires or wants for the extravagant things. We like the glitz and glamour. But when you conquer that, and then all of a sudden, who was it recently? Someone said to someone like, oh, how are you okay or something? And they said, I got a roof over my head and I got food on my table. I'm sorted.
There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He said that whoever wakes up and is safe in his house, number one, is healthy in his body. Yeah. So he has a house. So he has a roof over his head. He is healthy and he is safe in his body, and he also has something to eat for the day, that it is as if the whole world has been brought forth to him.
Yeah, it's true.
That's it. Sah? And remember, akhi, like, you know, every ni'mah, that every blessing that you have in this world, Allah is gonna ask you about it, and whether you gave its gratitude, whether you were thankful about it. Because, you know, subhanAllah, I was listening to a lecture yesterday, and the Shaykh was saying, he brought up an ayah of the Quran, and you know, the reason why I've brought this topic up, I know obviously that, you know how we like to flow, but I'm seeing a lot of things lately where people claim to be grateful, where people claim to be content. But in reality, is our heart really content? Because sometimes our minds might be content, but in essence, is our heart content? Because, like I said, I listened to a lecture where the Shaykh was like, he mentioned the ayah, ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ, that on that day, that you will be asked about the blessings, the ni'mah that you're gonna that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. So, and there's a story, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was with, I think, Abu Bakr and Umar, and they were drinking water and dates. Akhi, water and dates, al-aswadain they call them. Water and dates, akhi, it's not really the most extravagant meal. It's not really Amigos. It's not really like, you know, KFC. It's not your 2 for 2s. Yeah, like people like, you know, back in the days we used to get Sam's 2 for 2, yeah. It's not your kind of cheesecake factory. It's not your kind of wine and dine in that respect. Yeah. But imagine, akhi, it's the most basic thing. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to the Sahaba that, you know, you will be asked about water and dates. And the Sahaba, they were like, they were shocked. They were like, what, we will be asked about water and dates? So imagine, akhi, like, you have to, you know, sometimes, and even the Shaykh was like, sometimes that kind of puts you off from over enjoying and over kind of, not to say that it's haram, but make sure that when you do, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you wealth, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the good things in this life, make sure that you don't abuse it or use it in a bad way. Right. Because I think it was Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, where they ate like a piece of sheep. And then obviously he got up after and he started making wudu, and he's like, we need to make shukr to Allah for this meat. And he went to pray Qiyamul Layl, the night prayer. Akhi, a piece of meat, the lamb of a shoulder.
Yeah, but how does a person become simple? How do they fall out of love with the extravagant stuff? Because there's such a sweetness to it, but you have to get past the barrier of wanting to it's not about wanting to impress others, because that's a very cynical perception of people and of society. I think that you can be a good person and still be in love with the things that are halal for us as well. And
it's not haram. It's not
like all of us. You know what I mean?
We all like nice things, and I don't think that's a bad thing. However, I personally think, Faisal, that you should be able to live without them as well as you can live with them. Don't be someone who's dependent on those things.
But so how does a person detach himself from that stuff, from the love of it? Like, not from the love of it, but from the love of it being in his heart.
Akhi, that's hard, but even for myself, akhi, that's hard, isn't it? In the sense that it's a continuous struggle, and the best way is to realize that as soon as you, as quick as you attain those luxuries, it is as quick as it can be taken away from you, because we know that we're not here for long. So to be honest, bro, the best thing is to realize the reality of the dunya or of these kind of extravagant things. Not to say that it's a bad thing. No, you can enjoy nice watches, you can enjoy nice clothes, but don't be too attached to it. You understand?
Yeah, I feel like for me, one of the ways of doing it, I this might not work for everyone.
Go on, tell me.
But it's like affirmation. If I tell myself something, then I start thinking that way. So for example, every time, if I get in the habit of every time someone asking me, how are you, me saying, I've got everything I need, alhamdulillah. If I just take that habit, then I'll stop ever when someone says, how are you, going, oh, bro, you know what, I've had a rough day today. My time management is peak. Like I said, but imagine if I just said, if I just got in a habit of saying, well, alhamdulillah, I've got everything I need, I'll start thinking to myself, right, I do have everything I need, innit? So I think, what do they call it, positive affirmation, when you tell yourself something positive and then you become positive about it? But I think that's what they call it, and it's like a proven thing. So
it's in our deen as well, bro.
Yeah,
it's in our deen. Even so, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was the most optimistic person that you would ever meet, despite we know the struggles that he went through. But in his life, he was always smiling. Always smiling. He was very optimistic. And even I think it was Muhammad Ali, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. He said to himself, he said, when obviously he said the famous quote, I'm the greatest, in a sense that he never said it as in he's Allah, astaghfirullah, where the context that he meant it was I'm the greatest boxer.
Yeah.
And he said, I think it was him or Mike Tyson, where he is like, I knew I wasn't the best, but I kept on saying to myself that I was the best until eventually I became the best.
Yeah, I believe that's what positive affirmation is. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's positive mindset, positive affirmation. Akhi. And you know what? Recently, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Recently, my wife, akhi, she's like, obviously, we're trying to like both, you know, everyone's on their path and everyone's on their journey. And instead of like, say, for example, when you have a problem, because in life, you are gonna come across problems. Yeah. So in life, it's not about panicking when you get to those problems, or it's about finding alternatives. It's about finding resolutions. It's about finding ways to go about that problem. Because sometimes when we come up against a problem, whether it's between spouses, whether it's between work colleagues, it's easy to kind of escalate and get frustrated. And you know what? So what we're gonna do now? We're stuck. But you know what? There is a solution. You know what? There is some way that we can get around it. And I think when you have that mindset, you know what? For every problem, there's a solution. For every issue, there is a kind of a way out. Alhamdulillah, you're always in that mindset. You know, okay, we're not going to worry about that. Let's think about how we're going to get past this obstacle. You know, and for me, I think that's really, really important in trying to stay calm all the time. Try not to panic. I put up a saying on my story just today on my way here about an ayah of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. Like, nothing will befall you except that which Allah has written down for you. So you worrying, yes, we have to do our asbab, you have to do your kind of work, you're working for something, you need to be working, but then again you leave the results to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whatever will be. You know, so why are you stressing? Why are you worrying?
Yeah, you know, you said earlier the quote that, what was it? Something can be the thief of joy.
Oh, comparison can be the thief of joy.
Comparison can be the thief of joy. I saw a similar quote once that I thought was really beneficial, and it was satisfaction can be the death of desire. In that it can be that you're longing for something, and then when you finally get it, it kills your
drive.
Your drive for
your
it.
hunger.
Yeah, but when you want something, the desire for it, you know, drives you. And well, I thought that was really powerful, man.
It is.
Yeah, I thought that was really powerful. How often is it that we do aspire to do anything? Like, for example, we might be trying to move out, get a new home, or we might be trying to build our business to hit a certain milestone. And then when we hit it, we're looking at the next objective already. Like, we don't remember that we worked so hard to get to this point. Yeah. And back in the day,
where we were and where we are now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because you know what it is, I think one brother, my friend JF Inspires, brother Jamal, he's doing a great job with the youth. One of my Somali friends, may Allah reward him. He said,
I know Jamal.
Brother Jamal, mashallah. You know, he's somebody that, subhanAllah, me and him go back way long. And
really?
Yeah, from a long time. Alhamdulillah. When we used to work part time with the youth. Like we used to volunteer, alhamdulillah, and we talked, you know, amongst each other. And we say, you know, sometimes, you want to reach higher kind of aspirations, but sometimes you need to stop, take a look back, see where you were, and see where you are. Because sometimes, it's good to be hungry, but sometimes you kind of need to be like, you know what, it's a process. Enjoy that process, you know, because anything that's worth getting and is long lasting, it's a process. Anything that is attained quickly will go quickly. Anything that is attained with struggle, with strife and sacrifice, inshallah, will be long and lasting. So even with Freshly Grounded or with Sunnah Remedies, for me, my aim and my goals is not to, you know, blow quickly. No, is to enjoy the process, to provide a service for the community, to enlighten the community, and from longevity. My goal is the longevity.
Yeah, and as long as that process is linear, like it's going upwards.
But sometimes
slowly.
that won't be the case, bro. Sometimes you might get dips, akhi. Like sometimes, like people don't see on your Instagram or my Instagram or your YouTube or whatever it may be, that there is some, akhi, the road to success is up and down. Sometimes, like sometimes in our kind of career or in our lives or Sunnah Remedies, there is downhill and there is uphill. That is the road to success. Yeah. Because sometimes you will go down and it's just about going up. Yeah. They say once you get knocked out, it's not about staying down, it's about getting back up. Yeah. See, so it's
weird how these cliches always sound so cheesy, but when you experience things in life, like you get why these cliches exist.
And you
Like
can
they all, they all make sense, and it feels so cheesy to say them, but as they're so relevant. You think, wow, like that's the perfect saying for what I'm going through right now, and then it makes sense that someone hundreds of years ago thought about this simile or thought about this like poetic line that like because they was going to say it's like, oh wow, that actually makes sense. And it's very similar to fatherhood. Like, you know, when you're not a parent, people always say the same thing to you. Everyone says it, and you start getting a bit tired. Like, I remember having a conversation with Omar once, when we hadn't had the Zakaria yet, but he was he was due, and Omar was saying something to me. I spoke to Omar. I said, listen, I said, just let me experience it, bruv, because the more that you keep saying these things, it can get frustrating because someone's like, oh bro, you're not gonna be able to sleep. Oh bro, you're gonna wait till this happens, or wait till this happens, and then you start thinking, bro, like allow it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Anyway, so he said to me, he was like, bro, you know what? Forgive me, man, because I know exactly how you feel, because I felt like that as well when we were first expecting our child. So the point is that there's all these cliches in it, like, oh bro, watch, you're not gonna be able to sleep. Oh bro, wait till he smiles, and then when he smiles, it's like, oh, like
wait till he walks, wait till he crawls.
All this kind of stuff. It's just like, and then there's cliches as well that are like, what did they say? They say stuff like, what do they say about babies, bro? Like the typical kind of stuff that they say, like,
they're the jewel of your heart, or they're the eye, the apple of your eye.
Things like that. But anyway, the point is that even though that stuff you hear all the time, it's so annoying to hear, when you become parent, you start dropping them lines.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I didn't sleep last night. Oh, wait till you have a... You know what I mean? But it's because they're true. Like, cliches must exist because they're true, and someone said them once, and other people were like, wow, that's true, you know? And then they started dropping it. Now, centuries later, we're still using those like lines and cliches because they just are true. As annoying as they are to hear.
And I think there are examples, because us as humans, we kind of relate to them much more. We like hearing examples, innit? And I think, that's demonstrated in many things.
Yeah.
Because we like, oh yeah, but it's like this, but you kind of engage the listener.
Yeah,
or,
definitely.
Or the audience.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that I definitely haven't mastered by any stretch of the margin, but you're right, in conversation generally, when a person's tone also become, or like they're just like prolonging everything they're saying, it gets boring, innit? And it's funny I say that because the most like commented thing on Freshly Grounded is how I take so long to get to a point. And I'm always... And do you know what? I remember someone came to my house the other day. Who was it? Oh, yeah, there's a brother. This brother comes to my house the other day, yeah. I went on the Light Upon Light tour with him. He came down and he goes to me, Faisal, I clocked this comment. He goes, does it get to you? Because he knows that some comments can get like to people... And he goes, that gets you. I said, bro, that comment there, I said, it does not get to me. He goes, why? I said, bro, because I know it to be true. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what gets to me, bro? When people say stuff that's not true.
Like what?
Like, for example, if someone wants to say...
What do you get hurt with? Like obviously, because we're both on social media, so what do you kind of like...
I'm not really that much on social media anymore. But
well,
let's say, for example,
like
let's say, for example, I know you, yeah, Sunnah Remedies, yeah, I know what you're like. And then I go and say, yo, I reckon that guy, like, I reckon... that what he's saying about wanting to help people and that is all rubbish. Like, guys out there trying to make money. That's it. That's
trying to
make
the bank.
That would hurt you because it's like, wow, I'm not even trying to do that. Like, do you see what I'm saying? But because it's not true, it hurts me more. Whereas when it's true, it's like, all right, I already know that. But like, if you haven't analysed your own character already and know your flaws, then you got a long way to go. You know what I mean? But I remember I used to speak to Sam and said to him, back in the day, bruv, yeah. It's a shame because I still haven't done it. But back in the day, I used to speak to Sam. I can't remember if I used to speak to Sam or Omar about this, but I think it was Sam. I definitely spoke to Omar anyway. And I used to say, let me just get that going. Get 2 seconds.
Okay. Does that one stop as well? That's continuous.
Nah, I think it's continuous now. Yeah, we got this whole system basically. You can see that system in the back.
Yeah.
So generally, when we got a producer, the idea is that like the whole edit and everything's automated, and like the
Okay.
way it's filmed is automated and stuff. Like we got
Nice.
the new cameras and stuff, but we need to figure out like a schedule that works properly, because I want to constantly do as many episodes as possible.
Sure, no, man.
And we don't have someone here who's literally ready to just
Soon.
press go. And
Soon,
Yeah, so-
inshallah, man.
anyway,
You were saying
what was I saying?
about the things that
Oh
are
yeah,
not
so
true.
I was saying to like 2 years ago, bro, when we were in the other studio, I used to say when we get some money in Freshly Grounded, I'm gonna use it to invest in speech therapy lessons, so that because I need to hone my craft. If I'm constantly using my voice and I'm speaking, I need to get better at sentences. I need to get better at speaking, being more clear, and actually, everyone agreed. Everyone was like, "Yeah, bruv, like if you want to do it, it's a worthwhile investment." So I started googling it, and I found like a clinic that's kind of near my house. And then what happened is I think you get distracted in it. We started doing the events and stuff, and I just never got around to it. But I still intend to do so because I think it's obviously important in it. But yeah, anyway, my point being is this: is that those comments, they don't really hurt, bro, because you're already aware of your own flaws. You know what I mean? I think it's very important for people to be aware of their own flaws, because otherwise what's going to happen is if you're not aware of your flaws, you'll get offended by everything because you think you're the best. Imagine I was like, Sunnah Remedies, bruv, like you're not the best practitioner in the world of hijama. Now, if I said that to you really, you'd go, because you're humble, whereas I genuinely, you are the best that I've
I don't
gone
think
to,
so.
right? But you yourself would respond saying, nah, bro, there's loads better than me. Yeah. But
I know myself.
I know there's loads better than me, for
Yeah.
example, or whatever. Yeah. But if you genuinely thought there's no one better than me in the world, and I said that you're not the best, it would hurt you, bro. Because you'd be like, what? But it's because you're ignorant to the fact that there could be people in the world who are better than any of us at our skills.
And ego.
But it's ego.
It's ego.
Exactly.
And even look, there was always, and I think we spoke about this one on the podcast, there will always be somebody better. Always.
Yeah, you did. You said that.
Yeah, always, bro, always. And we know this. And it's good because it should encourage you to become better at what you do.
Of course.
You know,
Competition is good.
Competition is good. Why? Because it helps to raise the standards.
Yeah.
So, and in reality, look, competition is good, but I believe healthy competition and balance, because in essence, that even with Sunnah Remedies, I believe that I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm in competition with myself to better myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to start worrying about this hijama therapist and that hijama therapist. Like, I've been doing this for a long, long time now. And, the older you get, the more mature you become. The more you realize, the more wisdom that you try to kind of gain throughout life. And you realize a lot of things. And, bro, like, don't worry about any other competition. Worry about yourself. That's, in a race, when people are racing, is he worrying about other? No, he's concentrating on his race.
Yeah.
In the end, that's when you know.
Yeah.
But when he's racing, bro, he's in his lane and he's running.
Yeah. He's just focused.
He's
on the
focused on that. He's focused on the finish line.
goal. Yeah.
So and sometimes, bro, like I said, comparison is the thief of joy. Innit? Make sure that you perfect your craft. Be the best at what you do. If you're on a podcast, be the best podcast. If you're a writer, be the best writer. If you're an architect, be the best architect. If you're an engineer, be the best engineer. That's what you need to strive to do, bro. And that's, achieve excellence. And even from our deen, the Prophet ﷺ said that when a Muslim does something, he should try to achieve ihsan, like excellence in it, or to try to reach a higher level at what he does. Not shortchanging himself or people. Like, be the best at what you do. Yes, it's going to take time. It's going to take sacrifices. But if you read, that's why I say to people, don't do something because you're seeing, okay, say for example, I'm going to start my podcast because, I'm seeing Freshly Grounded, they're doing their podcast. I'm going to start a barbershop because I'm seeing Menspire popping and they're probably raking the money and they're making the millions. Don't follow the money. Like, or I'm going to do hijama, or I'm going to do sports therapy because these guys, look, they're doing celebrities, they're making money. That's what people think about. Oh, they're doing the money. So let's do hijama. Let's open up a hijama page, hijama this, hijama that. No, bro. Do something because you genuinely enjoy it. Don't follow the money because money comes and goes. Follow follow what you enjoy.
Yeah, also when
Follow
we
your passion.
When we had Ajmal on a podcast, he said something that was quite powerful, and he said that I don't ever stress about the money because I know that it's written for me.
Of course.
So if it's written for you, you're gonna get whatever's written for you anyway. So you might as well just do what you enjoy.
Exactly, but some people are, unfortunately, they don't really think like that because that's why they're looking at other pages or they're looking at other people and thinking, oh, you know what? He's making the money, I'm gonna make the money. But how do you know that your rizq is written in that particular field? I'll give you an example at barbers. The reason why I'm going to be generic. Something, say for example, maybe selling trainers. One brother might be doing fantastically well, but maybe his rizq is in selling trainers. That's why he's banging and he's making money. But if you decide, I'm going to be like, you know what, let me sell trainers. My rizq isn't in selling trainers. I'm going to be doing poor. I'm thinking, scratching my head like, how come I'm not making money as much as he did, or like. Or he could have been doing that for 8 years. You don't know the struggles and the sacrifices that he's made. You think you're gonna come here tomorrow, bro? It doesn't work like that. Life is not as simple. It's not that. Don't follow money because money ain't gonna make you happy. How many people wake up every single day and they're on their way to work hating themselves, hating their jobs? Do you want to be that person? Because eventually, bro, people are gonna see past you. You know what? This guy's just doing it for money. Yes. You have to be professional. You have a time slot. Okay, I can do this. I can book this. You have to be strict, but make sure that you do what you enjoy, and you're enjoying what you're doing.
Right here.
Do you understand, Faisal? Don't follow the money, bro.
Yeah. I think for a lot of us, the issue is not that we're perhaps not making we're not making any money, but it's that we're not managing it and spending it in the correct way, and therefore you feel like I have to carry on in this job because how can I afford my lifestyle? But it's decisions that we've made in our lifestyle leading up to that point that have now led us to this, where we're paying £400 a month for a car that we've leased when really and truly they need it. You know what I mean?
I'm bang against that. I hate. You know what it is? I don't like being in debt. I do not ask any of my friends. I do not like being in debt. Or like, say for example, I live according to my means, not according to my wants. Yeah? Don't live according to your salary. Live according to your wallet. Don't live according to you know what, I've got credit cards. Let me max out the 1 credit card, the 2 credit card, the 3 credit card. Before you know it, you're going to be in debts. And we live in a society of debts. Anyone can drive a nice car. Anyone can drive a nice car. Anyone can wear nice clothes. Why? Because we live in a generation of debt. You know, I can go to the showroom right now. They can look at my incomes and be like, you know what? Yeah, Mr. Saruk, you can take out a lease or you can take our car and pay monthly, and I'll be driving a nice car. But for me, that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. That's small thinking, man.
I spoke about this in the Light Upon Light conference because what happened is in the Birmingham date, the event manager come up to me and he goes, bro, listen, we need you to buy 15 minutes. Now, on the stage, in front of 1,000... Okay. Yeah, like we need to fill up 15 minutes. There was, I think one of the speakers was delayed or whatever, right? Now, in front of 1,300 people on stage, 15 minutes is a very long time, bro. To give it context...
But you look like a natural though, mashallah, man.
But it's
no, Allah, you look like a natural.
Yeah. To give it context, a stand-up comedian, his set, like if he's not the main act, like if he hasn't got like a half hour and 1 hour set, most of them have like 12 minutes or 15 minutes, and they've got to do their whole performance in that.
That's not the main set.
Actually, that's their main set, but it's not the main event, right? Imagine that, Now imagine you got to fill up 15 minutes in front of 1,300 people, and you ain't got no clue. You haven't been told. And I looked at him, I said, brother, you know I don't, because we all know each other. I said, brother, you know I don't like doing that. But actually, as a professional, that's one of the things you have to do sometimes. You just got to buy time.
No.
Even sometimes, I find it hard to fill up a minute, bro. Sometimes I find it hard to fill. He said 15. So I didn't know what I was going to say. I just went up on stage, and I was like, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to speak about the conversation that we just had backstage. Me and Farouk, we were talking about ego, innit? But so I just started again, and before I knew it, 15 minutes was up, and everyone was just listening, bruv. Like, I said this. I was talking about this exact thing. So I said, you know what? First of all, I was honest with them. I said, brothers and sisters, I've got 15 minutes to fill up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of take you through the itinerary of the day. I'm gonna give you some like logistics and like how things are gonna work, and after that we'll have a little chat. And then so I told him, I said, look, this is the Salah time. This is what's gonna happen for lunch, blah blah blah. Then I said, Farouk and I were just having a conversation in the back. We were talking about ego, and we were saying that ego can destroy a person, and I said, how many of us know of people who, and sometimes, bro, my community can be the worst at it. Maybe that's just because I know more.
Everybody knows their community,
Yeah.
so that's why you're probably saying that. I can say the same thing about our community.
So
Moroccans are this, or Pakistanis are this, or this, like.
but and
why?
Birmingham,
Because
the Birmingham crowd was my community, bro.
yeah, but everybody
So-
knows that. The reason, I'll give you an example. I get people that I don't really roll with Moroccans, or I don't really roll with Pakistanis. Why? Because reality is everybody is good and bad, and everybody's we're all human. We're all
Yeah,
human,
there's like
innit?
stigmas and stuff.
We're all
So what I
human.
said, to cut a long story short, is I said to them, look, how many of us know people or ourselves who, because of ego, because of what we want others to think, because we want someone to go, ooh, raw, man's like driving that, you'll spend £400 a month on a Beamer, and you're spending £300 a month on the insurance for the Beamer. You spend 5 bills, bro. You're spending 250 quid on the petrol, £750 a month on a car, bro.
You're going broke just so
You
people
gotta
can
go-
say.
and you could have got like a Corsa,
Yeah, standards.
which is a nice car.
Ford
yeah.
Focus, Corsa
Actually, a
VW.
Ford. My first car that I was driving was my mum's car. It was a Ford Fiesta.
Mine
yeah.
was my first car.
Ford Fiesta as well. I
No.
think. What?
Corsa.
Okay.
Yeah, Corsa.
Yeah.
Like, Corsa, my
Bro,
first
the
car.
Ford Fiesta is good, bro. It's a good first car. Anyway, so my point is, and both Ford, even if you wanted to go monthly on it, but instead of spending £400 a month for a BMW, a Ford Fiesta, bro, will cost you like £90 a month, bro. I'm saying if you have to do the monthly option, obviously it's not ideal. Really and truly, save up. You can even just get a little one. Point is this: I said, how many of us know that? Actually, everyone in the crowd was like, yeah, like you just. Everyone's like resonating, like, Robbie, have either done that ourselves, or we know people like that. Like the auntie was like, oh, my son. Like, I mean, and I said, that is mad because you're doing that, but who's paying that bill at the end of every month? You. Not the people who go, he's driving that. You're paying it. They're not paying your bill. They're going home to their own problems. They thought about you once. And that one time they thought about you was when they saw the whip. They went, and that's it. And then they moved on to their problems because everyone has their own problems. They have so many problems that they haven't got time to go home. Like, yo, you see what Mama's driving? Oh, wow. You know what? I was just thinking that Mama's driving that car. Bro, that is gone, bro. They see it one time, like, wow. Bro, you know how many times I've seen someone drive a nice whip? I'm going, wow, Allahumma barik. And then I've forgotten about it. But in that moment, that one moment, I've gone, oh, man, maybe it would be nice to drive something like that. And then, so my point is this, is that, but then you, for 18 months now, are paying that bill. Whereas that's £750.
And how many problems is that going to bring you? But marital problems.
But
I know, you know what?
Bro, forget marital problems. Sometimes you might do it because of
Family
sometimes you might do
problems.
it to even impress your spouse. Maybe you.
Yeah, but then again,
then
when you have financial difficulties, but I know many, obviously, like there's a lot of marriages that could be under pressure because of financial circumstances.
Yeah.
Of course, so you're going to put yourself in that sticky predicament.
But I'm saying that you might even do it just so your missus can be like, oh, it's my husband. But then even though your missus might think that, I know she would prefer for you to have a Corsa, but for you to have security for like the next 3 years, where because bruv, I remember I've said this so many times in the podcast, but Dave Ramsey, who's that financial guy whose podcast I listened to, he basically was saying, Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
The listeners of Freshly Grounded must be sick of hearing his name because I speak about it all the time. But this concept that I spoke about when I was speaking about him was that he says, men, your women have this extra gland in their body that men don't have, and we don't even understand and we don't even know. And it's called the security gland. And all the women started laughing. And he said that your wife, when she feels like you have security, she feels content and happy. And it's not that she wants your money and that women are gold diggers or any of that. It's that they're logical and they're
biologically set up.
They
have
smarter,
an iOS.
right?
They're iOS.
When it comes to security, women are smarter than men. Generally, they're smarter than men.
But even
so your
though-
wife just wants you to even if she ain't gonna see a penny of it, she wants to make sure that you're secure, because security is what makes them satisfied. Now, if you're saying to your missus like, I've got, when times are tough, you think, well, I've got 750 coming out of my car. Bro, sometimes you might be like, I can afford it. But what happens in 6 months' time when you can't afford it? You still got to pay that car. Okay, that's scary, man. That is scary.
But okay, look, even our religion, our deen, sah, what is it? The man, the role of the husband is what? To provide.
Yeah.
So when you're providing not just, so indirectly, when you are providing monetarily, you're providing in terms of security. Because when a woman looks for a man, she looks for somebody who is, like you said, who's going to provide her with that security. And there's nothing wrong. That's her right.
Mm-hmm.
That is her right. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I believe that's important. So that's something else. That's the responsibility of the husband. Like, sometimes we all like to mug off sisters or blame women, but at the same time, like, we don't realize that men fall short of their responsibilities. Men fall short of how they're supposed to carry themselves. So I think both parties need to look at their responsibilities and what they need to do and kind of adhere to those things.
There was this Islamic lecture, and what this guy was saying in the lecture, I watched it years ago. Now, I think it was Naman Ali Khan, I'm not sure, but I was watching his lecture, and I think it was him. He said that a man's fitna is women, and a woman's fitna
is money,
is wealth.
Yeah?
This isn't coming from me.
Materialistic things.
Right.
Materialistic things.
This is coming from that lecture that I heard, so I don't want people going me down saying, it's not true.
No, you're just quoting.
I'm just quoting.
Yeah, he's quoting, guys, yeah?
Yeah, please. I'm quoting. I might make a disclaimer. But anyway, so he said that men's fitna is women, women's fitna is wealth, money, or
materialistic
things, right?
Yeah.
And he said that what happens is, because men know that that's a woman's fitna, men will go for the materialistic things to like,
because if you get the money, you can get the girl. If you get the money,
you get the girl, right?
Yeah.
And so my point is that you might get those things, and even though you might think to yourself, look, that's not true, everything that he just said isn't true, but maybe subliminally it might be. I don't know.
It's true.
It could be.
It's true.
And so
it's true. I'm telling you, it's true.
I'm trying to be PC over here. Like, it's definitely
it's true. It's true. It's true. Look, it's true on different levels.
Right.
Like, what wife wouldn't want her husband to provide for her?
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
And look, say for example, if you had a daughter, you want to make sure that at least this guy that's gonna marry your daughter, at least he's got your daughter a little bit in it.
Yeah, it's true.
Same time. Like, he doesn't have to have an amazing job, but he's just got to have some income there, and he knows, like you said, he knows how to deal with his. Look, it's not bad. Look, I'll give you an example here. I don't want people to get the wrong end of the stick. Where, look, if you got a lot of money and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has given you a lot of money, there's nothing wrong with buying watches that are like for you 40k might be like £400.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? The problem is when
all of your income.
Yeah, where your income is just like miskin, and you're spending
like us, akhi.
Like us, akhi, and you're spending money that you don't have, and that's gonna put you in a lot of trouble. But if say for example Allah's opened doors for you, akhi, why not? You can buy, akhi.
Of course,
you can buy, but why? Because you can afford it. It's not nothing. It's not nothing for you. It's nothing. And obviously, as long as you're fulfilling your obligations with regards to your wealth, as in you're paying your zakat, you're doing what you need to do. That's your money. Spend it how you want, as long as you have an answer in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's it, bro.
Yeah, I remember on a personal story, bro, that my missus, she like...
I hope this is like not going to get you in trouble, bro.
No, it's not going to get me in trouble.
Okay.
I thought about it a lot before I just said that.
Okay. Take 5.
When she... I think she's like mentioned in the past that like... she would like it. She likes it if I'm wearing good trainers in it. Like,
my missus is the same, you know. My wife, when I got married,
she hates when I have scruffy. Actually, when I got married, but when I got married, I heard now, because this was 4 years ago. My brother-in-law was telling me, he said that when you left the yard, we was just all discussing your trainers. Like,
wow,
my man's trainers. I don't know, you know. I don't care about trainers. So I'm thinking, like, I never even knew it was a thing, but
but it is.
But
they
say that the shoes are the first thing that a person looks at, or something like that. I don't know. I've heard about it like in meetings and stuff. Anyway, so
I got rinsed as well by my wife.
Yeah, I got rinsed. Even
your taste in trainers is dead. Like, like how are you rolling up to my house with this trainers?
Bro, I got the same thing. So anyway, I even give Vincent a regular, bro. But my trainer game has kind of leveled up tiny bit. Not really a lot, to be honest. Only like an inch, yeah. I'm still definitely not by any stretch of the margin something where my missus is like, yeah, my man's got a 6 anyway. But listen, yeah, my point is this. There's been times probably in my marriage where to impress my wife, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to get myself some designer crepes, like proper nice
trainers,
like trainers, really nice ones, yeah. But I haven't ended up doing it. But the point is though, is that I still know deep down that even when she's saying it on surface level, she doesn't really care for it to the point where she would want me to she'd probably, if I did actually spend £400 trainers, she'd probably be like, what are you doing spending 400? Do you know what I mean? But so my point is that although it may be a hint of like, oh, I want to like impress her and keep her happy by making sure that the thing that, you know, is nice for her, I make sure I keep up to my appearances. I know that it'll be worse if I spent that £400, but then I was like, oh, we can't, we got to be a bit tight on our food shopping this week. But what? You know what I mean? That is worse than the feeling of not having that security for a food shop is worse than the feeling of elation and happiness of me having designer crepes. Do you see what I'm saying?
What are you gonna put on the table?
Right,
trainers to eat.
Exactly. So my point is that you yourself, even though there's times where you do want to do those things, you have to balance it out and think, all right, even though that would be nice, I can't really afford to right now, and I've got to make sure I balance things out.
Of course, balance is key.
Obviously, this is the journey of life, isn't it, bro? Trying to make the right decisions and stuff like that. Obviously, naturally, you should try and keep up appearances for your missus. You know, this is one sheikh as well, yeah, he said something profound, bro. He said that it's amazing because you leave your house looking tip top, bro. And then you come home from work, you take your hoodie off, you put your pajamas on, you don't care about how your hair is. And it's like, but when you come yard, your missus ain't seen you all day. Like, should you not be trying to look better for the fact that now you're at yard? True, for the person that you actually care about, make sure you look good for them. And bro, it's true, bro. Like, sometimes when I go yard, bro, the way you see me looking at my yard, embarrassed. It might not have even been a sheikh. It might have been someone who come to Freshly Grounded. But
we want our wives to look tip top for us. But for you, bro, like you.
But imagine what she must be thinking when you're leaving the yard looking, like 10 out of 10.
And then you come to the house looking 0 out of 10.
Bro, 0. Imagine.
Minus.
She was thinking, wow, why? What did I do?
Am I not worthy? Am I not worthy of that? It's true.
It's
I think
true.
both parties need to look presentable and nice for each other, and that's the sunnah. The Prophet said even when before he would enter his, can you believe that, bro? Before he would enter his house, he will clean his teeth with miswak.
Subhanallah.
This is him entering into his house, maybe into one of his wives' house.
Yeah.
And he'll clean his teeth with the miswak, He'll start off with oral hygiene. How many of us, you walk into the house, your breath is kicking, onion, pickled crisp, Allahu Alam what you've eaten, and you're walking into the house, hi, I'm home.
Yeah, no salams even, bruv. Yeah. You know what I've started doing? I've started doing that when I come home after work, before I leave, I keep an aftershave bottle in my car, just on my side. I spray myself just before I go into the house now, because I've got to remember that, you know, I'm going home now, and I mean, I can't be like, oh, I'm done now, because bro, when I leave the house, I'm spraying. It's like you got your routine before you leave the house. You know, make sure you look nice, you spray yourself, and you leave. So I'm trying to do the same when I come back.
Yeah, it's important. You know what I think me personally, sometimes obviously. What I think is important is trying to get into the habit of these things. It's just habit. That's it. If you create this habit, it's going to become second nature to you, where it's not going to be like, oh, you know what, I need to put perfume, or you know what, I need to use miswak, or you know what, I need to clean my teeth, or you know what, I need to make sure that I'm presentable. And well, you know what, the closest people to you deserve the fact that, or deserve you looking in the best of your, the best way that you can present yourself to them. You know, are they not deserving of you coming kind of clean and trim and looking nice?
Even in a good mood, actually. Me and Sam spoke a few years ago on Freshly Grounded about, we were saying that sometimes, I think Sam was saying that he has a long day at work, his rough day, bro. Like he's had to have like some difficult conversations with some people that work for him and stuff. And then he goes home, and then because he's had a heavy day, goes home, he's like, oh, but for the missus, she ain't seen you all day. Yeah. So when you're going home and you're like, oh, the day was long, it's like, like that's what you're coming to me with.
Yeah,
Whereas if you go home with a smile, like, all right, cool, I'm
Or the
ready.
good, and they can sense that.
Yeah, ready
But-
for the day, ready for the
yeah,
evening now. What we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But is it off, yeah?
No, carry on, because yours.
But you know what, bro? I think that it's both parties, innit? Like, say for example, you've been outside the whole day and you've been working and like you've had a long day, innit? And you okay, yeah? Yeah. And you've had a long day. Imagine that you come home and your wife's in a bad mood, or like she's just like, obviously you're like, I think like it's important when you obviously, like, because now we're talking about marital marital kind of affairs, marital issues. It's like we shouldn't look at one party all the time. It's both parties, because a marriage consists of a man and a woman. Do you understand? So like, okay, say for example, you're gonna leave all those burdens and all those negativity outside the house, and you're gonna put on you're gonna change your mood, and you're gonna change your kind of aura, and you're gonna come into the house happy. But imagine, say for example, on the flip side of the coin, like you come into the house and after a long mad day of work, and you come in and your wife's off. Do you understand? So they say it's a joint effort, bro.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to create a happy home, and a stable home for each other and for the kids as well.
Who is it that said the other day that marriage is based off love and mercy? Oh, I was at a wedding the other day, and they were saying that marriage is based off of love and mercy. Yeah. And the scholars, they say that the reason is because you can, at the beginning of marriage, you're in love with each other, like you're infatuated by each other, but they say that it can be that as you grow old together, the love could fade at points. Yeah, and at that point, that's where the rahmah takes over, where you're merciful to each other.
Of course.
And then that's how it's like up and down. And it's not to say that the love goes forever, but there's times, obviously, where it might be lower. As you get older, obviously, we're talking like long marriages, you know what I mean? People growing old together and stuff. And what's amazing is that
be very careful.
The scholars,
what comes out of your mouth next.
No, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, for me, it's not the case because but the Hussein, the scholars are saying that the rahmah takes over. What's amazing about that, bro, is that Islam, like, really talks about the issues that it doesn't shy away from these kind of issues, talking about these issues.
Brother, Islam is a natural religion, but you know what, I can't understand when brothers or even sisters push Islam like it's some unnatural thing, like you're not supposed to be like, say, like true to yourself or real to yourself, as long as you're not disobeying your commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some people push the deen out to be very unnatural, and this is when a lot of these people in that maybe doing da'wah or Allahu a'lam, they kind of may put people off practicing Muslims or even non-Muslims off Islam. Like, Islam is a very, very natural religion. Like, Islam is real. Do you understand? And the more that people kind of push Islam out as this unnatural religion, as this harsh, very dogmatic kind of religion, of course, people are not going to want nothing to do with it. Islam addresses all the issues that we go through in society. Some people are too dogmatic in it with their opinions, bro. And it's even especially on social media, I come across this a lot, where people try to shut you down. And I personally think when you first come to the deen, you have this kind of zeal, and bro, you know what? This zeal is not something that is sustainable. And we know that some people that they might have been too harsh on each other. I'm not saying to water down anything. I'm saying take a lighter approach. Be soft with the people. And subhanAllah, some people, even like in terms of differences of opinions, like they it's either their opinion or the highway. And even someone put up a quote and they misquoted the Sheikh. They said, difference of opinions is basically opening up rokhas, or opening up people of desires. So, Sahaba had the difference of opinions. Are you saying to say that the Sahaba are people of desires? The Salaf, the scholars, they had difference of opinions. What are you going to tell me? Are you now going to come in 2020 and you just started practicing Islam and you just started practicing your deen, and you're going to say to me, they were people of desires? Yes, they said it in a context. You have to understand there are some opinions which don't have a backbone to them. If there is opinion and there is evidence that he's brought it is a valid opinion, especially from the classical ulama, the classical scholars. But you have this brother, mashallah, he's just started practicing, and he'll tell you, no, it's this and that. There is no other opinion, brother. You're going with your desires. You're just picking the easy way out. So, Habibi, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? You trying to say that these righteous people before, they were picking the easy way out? No, I'm trying to say that if there is a valid opinion and he has his evidence for it,
That's to be respected.
it has to be respected.
Yeah.
Don't start coming out. Yes, there are extremes in every case. For example, there's an opinion that someone might have brought up out of nowhere, and it doesn't really have a leg to stand on. Okay, khalas, we understand this. But brother, listen, there are difference of opinions, and please relax. Do you understand? Like, educate yourself. And okay, how many, like, say for example, yeah, and I think Mufti Munir, yeah, he brought up something in one of your podcasts, innit? He brought up something in relation to, like, a barber. Like, if a barber comes, can he really be a barber? Obviously, he's going to be shaving people's beard. Is that allowed? And he said, what did he say along the lines of?
He basically
It's like
said
the maslaha and mafsada, or the greater benefit, or the great, avoiding the harm. Yani for what did
he said avoiding a big monster to having to take the little monster to avoid the big monster, basically.
Exactly.
He said that like, if there's no place in the community where Muslims can come and they can drop their children off to the barbershop to get a haircut, and the women can sit and not be and there's not music blasting and explicit images on the walls, and you can create that, and that's like beneficial, then or you have to, for example, shave someone's beard, but in order for you to avoid shaving your beard every morning to go to work,
exactly.
right.
That's
But obviously, I do have to say though, because we had the little brothers after that episode start using that as a madness.
Bro, you can use it. Bro, you can use anything.
They used that, like,
bro.
they started. I knew brothers would come up to me and say, because we're doing this year.
No, but look,
it's the same context as the barbershop.
Brother.
I was like, nah, but because the Mufti was giving very specific
examples.
And those kind of examples. If you're in a situation where you feel like you're gonna take a little monster to avoid the big monster, I think it's very much worth going to a person of knowledge and speaking to them about your specific situation.
Exactly, it's a balance, bro, and I'm with that. And bro, like, I'll look, it's all nice and dandy, yeah. Rebuking people on social media and forbidding the evil, but bro, okay, cool, no problem. But have you provided them with an alternative? Like, do you understand? Like, okay, say for example, like a lot of people, Nasheed. Bro, there's people out there there's some people out there, unfortunately, who are addicted to music, but there's other artists out there who are providing an alternative for people not to listen to haram music, or music, as it is. So it's all right. It's all right for you to stand and start criticizing and saying, nah, this is la yajuz, but are you providing an alternative for that munkar? Because we all know that the fiqh of commanding the good and forbidding the evil is that you provide them with an alternative. Like, I'll give you an example. I had a friend one time, yeah, and he was practicing, and he used to sell drugs. Yeah, he used to sell drugs before. Yeah, and subhanallah, this brother I became very close to, like, from the same country, Morocco, and we're very similar in upbringing. But before he was practicing, before I knew him, he was into selling drugs. And when you sell drugs, you're used to a particular lifestyle. You're used to a particular, particular brands, particular lifestyles. You're used to a lot of money. And he became practicing. And when he became practicing, he started to feel the squeeze financially. So no one came to him and provided him with an alternative, something that he could do that would avoid him selling drugs and getting involved in criminality and earning a halal income. So it got to the extent where he was stuck, yeah, because he was out of work, or he wasn't working, or nobody provided for him a solution, or nobody advised him. So he started feeling the squeeze. He got a job dropping off certain products. Yeah, I'm not going to be specific. And life started to become hard for him. Yeah, he started to feel the squeeze. What happened? He jumped off deen and he went back to shotting, or he went back to selling drugs. When you don't provide an alternative for people, you are providing them a pathway to fail. and to relapse and to collapse. So those people, those mashallah keyboard warriors on social Instagram and on social Instagram, social media, Instagram, Facebook, or before you say something, think very, very carefully. Like sometimes I could put up a picture of Nate, and I'm going to use this, Nate, before he became Muslim, we all know that he had tattoos and he still does have tattoos. And likewise, Sam. So when you're on social media being mashallah haram police, how are you going to feel, how are you going to make the brother feel when you're saying, Habibi, everybody knows tattoos is haram. Brother, this is not rocket science. But he done this in his jahiliyyah. How are you going to make that individual feel? Relax. What do you want him to do, akhi? Like, and these are the people, akhi, for me, I think these are the most people that are dangerous to the deen are these type of people. Because they lack wisdom, they lack knowledge, they lack a lot of things, and it's just what is pushing them to, like when they're in their circles and mashallah they're brave and they're talking, brother, relax. Like, have you studied? Like, leave that stuff to the students of knowledge and to the scholars. That's not your role. Like, do you understand? And if you are gonna say something, you have to understand that everything that you say has a consequence. Because say for example you put someone off the deen, or say for example like the way that you've spoken to that person, akhi, it's taking them away from Allah. You're gonna be responsible, bro.
You know what? The tattoo one is interesting. We've spoken about it a few times because
it's too much, bro.
We get that on a regular basis. We get comments on Freshly Grounded saying, why is the brother wearing tattoos? Or why has he got tattoos, etc. And
because you're a saint, mashallah.
And I remember Sam saying that he used to say, Qabla Islam, but then he said that like I got tired of it. And you're right, bro. In one way, it could actually lead for a new Muslim to go, I don't feel accepted in this community. I don't feel accepted in this religion, because the people who are in the religion are like after me. And
dogmatic.
What's interesting is that when Nate and Sam had the opportunity to go Umrah together last year, and they met with this sheikh, I don't know his name, Sheikh Asim.
Asim al-Hakim?
No, not Asim al-Hakim,
okay.
But Sheikh Asim something, and he was a student of, I believe, Ibn Uthaymeen, if I'm not corrected. If not, I believe so, right? And Nate was just telling me the other day, that's what I remember. Because I remember I said to him, because he was saying, who's that scholar? And I was like, Ibn Baz. He was like, no, not Ibn Baz. He was like, the other one. I was like, Faisal. So I think he said it was Uthaymeen. I might be corrected, but Nate's texting me now. Maybe he's listening to me saying, he's heading home. So anyway, the point is, that when he said
goodbye, Nate. Assalamu alaikum.
Nate said that they had that meeting. They got to meet that sheikh, and the sheikh was telling them even that there's a possibility that it could even be impermissible for them to take off the tattoos because of the harm that it would cause their body. Akhi, someone like Nate.
He's a faqih. Because this guy is speaking from knowledge, not from his emotions, akhi, that these brothers, mashallah, behind the keyboard.
So, and someone like Nate and Sam, akhi, they from their fingertips to their neck, akhi, to their ears, it's not something where they can just quickly get one thing taken off. So anyway, we don't want to go to a fiqh issue. I'm just speaking because that sheikh mentioned that to them. I wouldn't speak about a fiqh issue myself or from my own understanding at all.
Likewise, bro.
But those comments, alhamdulillah, someone like Nate, when he saw them comments, or someone like Sam, when he sees them comments, it doesn't get to them. But what if one day you post a comment thinking it's like Adi,
and he's low in his iman,
and the person, it just pushes them over the edge, like, you're right. Not, I mean,
these people, look. Sometimes, Habiba, worry about yourself, man. Wallah al-Adim, worry about yourself, go learn some Arabic. Brother, go seek knowledge, and relax yourself, man. Wallah, like I said, stay in your lane, innit? And these things, they don't concern you. Obviously, 100%. If you see somebody doing bad, brother, advise him, but make sure that you advise him in private.
And there's hikmah involved in the sense that if you don't know the person personally, it's tougher, isn't it?
It's tough, akhi. Make sure, brother, look. To be honest, bro, akhi, look, there's a lot that we can talk about, but in reality, akhi, I think all of us need to look at ourselves and to be very, very empathetic towards people and their situation, and understanding and more merciful. At the same time, akhi, to use a lot of wisdom in it, and it's a process, bro. Even I'm still learning. Wallah al-Adim, I'm still learning, akhi. But there's certain things that you see and you're like, bro, you know what? There was no need for that. You understand? There was no need for that. And akhi, these people, they're so, unfortunately, bro, this type of thinking that put a lot of people in trouble, bro. Wallah, that didn't put a lot of people in trouble.
Let's move the topic on to something a bit more happy. How's Sunnah Remedies going? We haven't spoke about that at all. How's it going? How's the progress?
Wallah,
You've moved onwards and upwards to the celebrities now. I see. Allahumma barik.
Wallahi.
Now, Jackie, I know that you hate that.
Yeah, but alhamdulillah. Look, and I say it again. Sunnah Remedies is a service for everybody: the rich, the famous, the poor, the miskin. Akhi, alhamdulillah, we're masakin. Akhi, we provide a service for humankind, for mankind.
Yeah.
And we're trying to educate people. And wallahi, for me, the main thing is, obviously, look, this is my job and I do earn a living, but at the same time, I want to make a change. That thing is just a part of my work.
So is your wife still doing the sisters?
Yeah, my wife, she's still doing the females. She does
team.
the females. You know what? It's amazing now because we're doing a lot of non-Muslims and, wet cupping and, alternative therapy is for everybody. It's not just for Muslims.
Do you get a lot of females who, like clients and stuff?
Yeah. My wife, she gets a lot of females, mashallah.
Okay.
A lot of females, alhamdulillah, obviously I see a lot of males. But it's really trying to educate people in terms of lifestyle, in terms of what hijama does, what wet cupping does, what dry cupping does, what grassland therapy does, how it helps recovery, how it cleanses the body, how it helps to flush or to help the lymphatic drainage. It's just about, and encouraging people, bro, to adopt healthy lifestyle changes slowly but surely, so it's not a shock to their system. Alhamdulillah, bro, it's going well.
Are you still on your celery juice diet?
No, I'm not. I'm on a different. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I've cut a lot of weight.
Okay.
I'm on a. At least
Well,
say,
you
yeah.
wait.
at least say, you know what, bro? Like, you have lost a lot of weight. Like, I'm waiting.
Bro, the way
I'm like,
you pause for that.
Yes. Oh, but I'm
that
not sure,
was
bro.
it.
Brother, you know what? You've lost. It's the jumper.
That
I'm
was the
wearing.
most like fishing for compliment. Figure out you.
Okay, but you're supposed to catch on and be like, wallahi, brother, you've gone so skinny.
Like the Arabs in it, akhi, like.
Wallahi, brother, wallahi, al-azim, mashallah, you've gone so skinny.
I saw you. I feel like I could. You disappeared. Akhi, you know what? Yeah.
I have.
It was so funny because you went. I don't know if you noticed, but I've lost a lot of weight, and then you were looking at me, and you went silent. Like
this is the bit that you kind of. No, alhamdulillah.
No, I was just listening to the. I was waiting for you to finish off your sentence.
All jokes aside,
You're looking good, akhi. Allahumma barik.
Barakallah, alhamdulillah, yeah, alhamdulillah.
So what happened?
Alhamdulillah, no, I'm more I'm on a I wouldn't say a diet, but I'm more in the program right now. I'm just cutting a lot of weight.
But what is it that you're doing to cut weight? I started running.
Yeah, I'm doing exercise. I'm doing a bit more cardio, a bit more weight strength training.
What are you doing to your diet?
My diet is just obviously not touching the rubbish, artificial foods.
We won't speak about that popcorn you dipped your hand into it just now.
No, alhamdulillah, that was a healthy snack, alhamdulillah. But in terms of like just cutting my calorie intake, really, wallah, just cutting my calorie intake, increasing my activity to always be like in a calorie surplus. Alhamdulillah, it's helped.
Yeah, it's not easy to be in a calorie surplus, is it, Bill? Because you
calorie deficit.
Because
your body's used to that calorie intake, and when you start, but you know what? Ever since I started reducing my calories, where I feel tired, I do feel better within myself, but you notice a few things. But I think maybe it takes a while for your body to adjust to those sudden changes.
Well, it's the classic thing of when you're on a treadmill and you're running for half hour and then you see that you burnt 300 calories and you think, oh, that's like 2 biscuits. And you think to yourself, 2 biscuits and obviously that's
and
not...
you're sweating and you're tired
obviously,
and your legs want to fall off.
That's not like the most accurate thing because you use calories throughout your day when you're sleeping. So
even for your body to function,
yeah,
your body needs calories to function.
That is a very demotivating thing to see. Like... Yeah.
I know people that when they would do cardio, you know what, they would cover the whole kind of with a towel and just do what it. Look, it's step by step. But a lot of us were used to quick changes and overnight changes. It's a process. Like I said in the beginning, I'll say now it's a process.
Have you tried Lara Bar? Have you heard of it?
No, what's that?
I heard about it first time when, there's a podcast called How I Built This, which talks to people who are very successful in business, and they interviewed this woman called Lara, and she created the Lara Bar. It's a really popular nutritional bar company in America, and there was a woman, she started it by she used to like the classic thing that loads of people do who are into nutrition. She bought some dates, she bought some nuts, she kind of in her own kitchen
Mashed
put
it up
them
together.
Yeah, and then she started, and people started turning up at her door, traveling from around the country. They heard about that word of mouth, and then she ended up getting like investment and all this kind of stuff. And now her business is worth like billions, bro. Yeah, or like
Look
at least multi-millions
From her house
from her kitchen, yeah,
to her mainstream. Inshallah, that's
And so
Sunnah
even
Remedies
now-
and Freshly Grounded,
yeah,
bro.
inshallah, man.
From the house to the high
Sahih,
streets,
sahih.
inshallah, man.
And even now, akhi, so we buy the Lara bars in our house, and if you look at the ingredients, it's literally, bro, the one that I like is the one with the banana and dates and stuff. Yeah, the only ingredients are like in that bar is like 3 dates, dried banana, some a few chocolate chips for taste, and there's one other ingredient, akhi, almonds, and that's it. Bro, but you can't, when you bite into it, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't taste like a regular chocolate bar or something. Like you can tell that you're eating like a healthy alternative, but there's no sugar added in it, bro,
Okay,
and it's vegan.
okay.
Yeah. Because I know you're thinking, is it really healthy, bro? Other than the chocolate chips that are in it, yeah, that's the only, and even in very small, there's like 1 or 2 dotted in. You know what I mean? And she's doing.
Is it healthy just because it's vegan?
No, I'm not saying it's healthy just because it's vegan, bro. It's got 3 ingredients.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But it's very sweet. The dates make it very sweet. No sugar, no added sugar. It's vegan, and there was 1/3 element of it that I can't remember. But they're good, man. They're very expensive, I think. But it's her brand now. She's built this massive brand. You get like 4 in a pack. But they're good, man. Buy some Lara bars. Go next time. I don't think you get them in Asda. I think you get them in Sainsbury's maybe, because they're big in the US, but they're not that big in the UK yet.
Okay.
Try it next time you're out. But I would be interested to know what your opinion.
take it,
Yeah,
yeah.
your opinion on them.
I like this, man. The weight of your actions are heavier than your words.
Yeah, I had to get that checked by Mufti Munir in
Yeah.
terms of.
Is that his one, yeah?
No. It was us, but I wanted to get it checked in terms of like it doesn't mess with our aqidah, like
No.
we're trying to say like your actions weigh more on the scales on Yawm al-Qiyamah. I just said, is that a safe statement to make? He's like, yeah. He goes, if anything, it's a lofty statement to make.
It is,
it's
bro.
good.
It is, man. People look at what you do, not what you say.
So here.
Put that one up next to it, innit?
Well,
it's not good enough, no?
Nah, not good enough.
Okay, khalas, next time.
Maybe I'll put the thief of your
comparison is the
joy.
thief of joy.
Yeah. Now we don't want a room full of quotes. We end up like an Instagram page.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to have something nice. I wanted this to look more like a little den. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's on its way, bro.
Yeah.
Wallah, it's on its way, man. I like it.
It's looking better than it was before last time you came in.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we didn't have the wall up then.
No, it's cut off. It's mashallah, it's nice, man.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, it's nice, bro. You got your own space. Akhi, many people would dream to have that.
Akhi, it was a dream of mine, akhi, man. It was a dream.
Alhamdulillah, your dream's becoming a reality, bro. It starts off with a dream.
Sahih.
Wallah, it starts off with a dream, bro.
Sahih.
But alhamdulillah.
Yeah. I was speaking to my family about something yesterday, about this exact thing, and I was saying that the crazy thing is that even where I've got to now is only based off of deciding to make this doesn't make sense grammatically, but deciding to make decisions, like in the sense of
Making decisions.
like actually doing stuff. Because you know, when you, for example, you get a deal or you get a client,
Would you say that you took a lot of risks to reach to where you were?
Oh,
or to where
man.
you are, sorry?
100%, man, 100%. No, I don't want to self-gloat.
No, but it's, you know,
But
maybe
it was a struggle,
bro,
man.
maybe like a lot of people don't see. Look, I'll give you the reason why I asked that question. Obviously, like, you know, we're alhamdulillah, you know, it's like you said, I'm a host, so you're not interviewing me. And a lot of people, for those people who are going to be listening, listen, Faisal's not interviewing me. It's me and him having a chat. Because a lot of people,
Freshly Grounded is never an interview, akhi.
but a lot of people, he's the host, but also like he said in the beginning, because a lot of people might kind of like go, oh yeah, but you know, brother, it's, you know, alhamdulillah, like Faisal said, I'm part of the
part of the furniture, akhi.
Yeah, part of the furniture. But the reason why I said that was because a lot of people might look at, like, even Sunnah Remedies, I don't, like, I'm not content in a sense that, because I want more, as in, because I want to achieve better and I want to kind of impact the lives of more people. I'm not happy with Sunnah Remedies in the sense that I know it has the potential to kind of affect more people's lives. They don't, because a lot of people, like you said, oh, you're doing celebrities, you're doing this, but bro, like, just because I do a celebrity, it doesn't mean, you know, like, people think of it monetarily, innit? Don't worry, like, when I do Like say when I do method and Anthony Joshua, brother, I don't. He doesn't give me the, you know, his pin number, brother. I'm providing a service. You know, when I'm doing like, you know, other celebrities, bro. Remember that, like people think that just because you do celebrities, automatically like you're some what is it, some mogul guy or some. Nah, brother, relax. Like, you know, alhamdulillah, I provide my service. I take pride in what I do. I provide a service and he pays me for his service. Simple. Like, I don't, just because you're a celebrity, I'm not gonna give you a bill of $1,000 or $2,000. Like, do you understand? Like a lot of people see, okay, you're doing this celebrity, you're doing Anthony Joshua, you're doing Abu Zaitar, Uthman Zaitar, you know, the Moroccan UFC fighters who are doing amazing. And these guys, you know, I call them brothers because they are my brothers and they've helped me a lot and they've supported Sunnah Remedies from the beginning. And like yourself, like Freshly Grounded, without the support of these very, very people, like Sunnah Remedies wouldn't be where Sunnah Remedies is. They don't see the struggles and the sacrifices that I had to make. The jobs that, like, nobody knows that when I first started Sunnah Remedies, like I used to drop off Amazon parcels in my Corsa. Like this Sunnah Remedies wasn't a full-time thing. And you know, like likewise, the reason why I asked you this question, that nobody's seen the struggles and the sacrifices that you and your family and your brother had to endure to, you know, for Freshly Grounded to be the podcast that it is today. People just see the final outcome or the current success, if you like to call it that. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's why I said it, bro. Like, you know, you've probably made a lot of sacrifices. Likewise, me and my wife, we've made a lot of sacrifices. You know, we've been through, you know, downs, like proper downs, innit? But you know what?
Likewise,
I thank those people who put me in those downs. I thank, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who took me through that journey because it was what I needed to be where I am today.
Sahih.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And you know, akhi, like, you know what's amazing, bro? You know, for me, what's mad is, like, alhamdulillah, I'm doing something that I enjoy, but I'm doing something that changes people's lives. You know, so, but alhamdulillah, you know what? Like I said, you're not gonna get to a place where you want to be unless you struggle.
You're right, Akhi, man. You have to.
You have to struggle.
And it's when you go through those. Another cliche, seeing as we're talking about cliches in this thing, is you know, they say that a coal only becomes diamond under lots of pressure.
Yeah. But it's true.
Even though it's a cliche, it's true, Akhi. Like, you really, like, probably most of the time when people get success, they get it on the other side of real struggles, like real times where you think, nah, I have to give up. Akhi, I remember when I was Googling how to apply to drive Uber. When I was
dropping off parcels, akhi. I have to wake up early, look at my app and keep refreshing it, bro.
And akhi,
like, nobody would have thought that.
You got a degree and stuff. Like, you
I've
could
got
have
a
easily
degree,
gone to
I've got a criminology degree, I've got a
city. Oh, yeah, we have the same degree in it. Akhi, you could have easily got a job in the Met or something.
Yeah, whatever, as a criminologist or whatever, innit?
Or a lecturer.
But I didn't enjoy that, bro. Even I was doing, alhamdulillah, before I was doing copy and I was interested in copying before my degree. People don't know that. People just think, you know what, it was an overnight kind of يعني ilham that I got and خلاص I wanted to be a, you know, a sports therapist, kappa, performance expert. La. Bro, like, you know, struggles, bro. What are you thinking about? I see you daydreaming.
No. You were just talking about. I was just remembering all the times.
Yeah, but wallahi, you probably applying for Uber jobs. You know, like people don't see that. And like I said, I'm not saying to you like I am where I want to be. But it's a process, and alhamdulillah, I'm enjoying that journey. And where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes me, you know, I'm more than welcome to alhamdulillah, grasp that and take it forward, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, man. Bro, barakallahu feek for being on the podcast again, akhi, man. May Allah bless you.
It's a pleasure, akhi, man.
Jazakallahu khair. Alhamdulillah, I think this must be, you must be coming up to close to 10 or more episodes of Freshly Grounded that you've been on now.
Maybe, bro. I enjoy it.
It's always lovely having you on, bro, and it's always nice conversating with you in general. Alhamdulillah, we get to spend time together and speak to each other outside of the podcast, and you're like I said before, like my agony aunt in many ways for all of us. Omar was always saying, Abdul Hakim said this, bro, and I was like, he was like telling me like what he spoke to you about and stuff. Alhamdulillah. So it's it's good, man.
Alhamdulillah, man. No, it's good, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, bro. We're 100% behind you.
Likewise.
You know, Allah barak, I can see you, mashallah. You know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you successful.
Ameen.
And put barakah in what you do. I can see you slowly becoming like the Muslim host, like, you know what, like but you know what I mean.
I don't like hosting events, you know.
No, but you know what, bro? Like, look, they're calling you Allah Barak to host events, and I like that. And when I saw that, bro, I was really, really happy for you. And I know, you know, it's because I know, like, where you want to be, because obviously we've had these discussions before. So hopefully Freshly Grounded in the future can be obviously inshallah full-time as it is now, alhamdulillah, and even better.
I mean,
Barakallahu feek.
Barakallahu feek, bro. Jazakallahu khair. This, guys, was episode 144,
Is it?
I think, of Freshly Grounded, with Abdul Hakim, Sunnah Remedies. 143.
43, yeah.
143. Oh,
Get your facts right, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I have to always check that when I say it. Jazakallahu khair. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you, inshallah, on the next episode. Oh, it's time for a stretch.
Assalamu alaikum.
All right, assalamu alaikum.